Hello my friends, I've been missing for a while, but I'm back. I'm going to try to do this video in one shot because I don't want to spend my time editing. I hate editing actually. So yes, though I have invested in a software for editing, but still not my thing. Let's talk about books. I haven't been reading at all. Yes, well, life has changed a lot. Not changed a lot, but I've had my loads of work. Started in March and then until like late June, beginning of July, I was so busy with my work that I actually really stopped reading. I did read a little bit between when we had a few days off and I was able to read again, but I've lost the rhythm. I was used to, read about around 10 or 11 books a month. Right now I'm more than one book a month. I think I've read only one book in August, I'm not sure. I've probably read a couple in July. So yes, not much to say about books. I will finally be on vacation soon, so I hope that, being on vacation gives me, the thing to read again. I'm doing much better with my reading when I'm on vacation, when my brain is not busy with other things to deal with. I'm going to talk now about the books I'm reading. Not the books, the book I am reading. I'm trying to read or to finish. It's Kes by Barry Hines. It's an old book, I think 1969. It was made into a movie by Ken Loach, actually. It was first published, I can't even speak English, as a Kestrel for a Knave, and then the movie came out and it was titled Kes. Kes is the name of the bird, of the hawk, that this little boy, Billy Casper, who has a very tough childhood, one day discovers, a nest with baby hawks and gets one and trains the bird. It's really good. It's very well written. It's back in the 60s, late 60s or early 60s in England, in a very poor family. The boy is actually pretty much on his own. He has an older brother, but they mess around a lot. He's not really close to him. And the same with his mother. She's dating guys, going out and getting drunk, and it's pretty a sad life. We're in the countryside. They go to this very strict, at this time, religious school, and yes. But still, the boy is really an interesting character, and his love for his hook is quite something. So yes, I'm really enjoying it when I'm reading. But the thing is that my hard time is picking up a book and, start reading. I'm almost at the end of it though. I have probably maybe 40 pages left. Well, at that time books were written small font, and you see not much of a paragraph, so that's my only excuse, but I'm gonna make sure that I finish it before I go on vacation. This is a book that I haven't read yet, but I was trying to find books I was eager to read, that. So I picked that one in my TBR. I didn't buy it. It's Picnic at Hanging Rock. I've heard a lot about it, so much about it. I think it's pretty famous. That's why it's a classic now, vintage classics. So yeah, I think I could really like it. It's about those girls who go for a picnic at Hanging Rock, and after lunch, a group of 3 girls climb into the blaze of the afternoon sun, pressing on through the scrub into the shadows of Hanging Rock, further, higher, until at least they disappeared, and they never returned. So yeah, it looks really good, and I've been curious about this book. That's why I've bought it actually, probably a year or 2 ago, and I still have to read it. Another book I've bought, and well, at least you see, life. Just a second. I'm back. No editing, okay, for that part because it's a funny one. Um, yeah, Why We Sleep. It's a famous one too. The New Science of Sleep and Dreams. Heard it was really good. It's about from Matthew Walker. And yeah, I really want to know, not only why we sleep. I do actually know why we sleep. We need to sleep. But what's going on when we sleep. And yeah, it talks about, if you have a good sleep, you're healthier and you ward off cancer. I mean, that's what what they say here. But, sleep is such a big thing, especially in our lives. Like in cats' lives too. We sleep probably 1/3 of our lives, I think. Is it 1/3? So yes, I want to know why sometimes. I had a hard time actually sleeping during those very specific months when I had this, loads of work. It was very stressing. And of course, the first thing that you lose when you're stressed is sleep. That's why I've bought this book probably in June. Another book I've read, actually, White Ivy. I haven't a clue if I talked about it already. Good book, Susie Young. It's because of Mercy's. She's a booktuber. Can't remember her booktube name, but Mercedes. And she said it was her favorite book of last year or the year before. I'm not sure. But and so when I finally found it at a cheap price, I bought it, and it's really good. It's very dark and twisted and twisting and strange, and really enjoyed it. I like the way it's written. I like the way it's told. I like the fact that it's not going to be like a happy ending, and it's not. Yeah, it's really strange. Yes, the sharpness of Donatort, the Irish Times says, and it's true. Yeah, she learned to steal from her grandmother, and then this young girl, and she grows up and she goes to this very, expensive private school where she meets all these students, and they're all very rich kids, and she is not. Her parents have moved from China, and but for her it's like, okay, this is the life I want to live now. I want to have money, I want to have nice cars, I want to go to the Hamptons, I want to, everything, and that's what she's going to try to achieve by all means necessary. And it's good book, yes, dark and twisted, but good. So Why We Sleep. I've read again because I love Bulgakov. So I've got Diaboliad. Diaboliad. I don't know why I want to say Diaboliad when it's Diaboliad. It's actually the first short story, but you have the fatal eggs afterwards, which are really cool and really strange and very crazy sci-fi, crazy. And then you have the Recommend Building, which is really good too, very sarcastic, and also on the age of sci-fi. I don't know, fantastic. It's and The Chinese Tale, also good story. These are the adventures of Chichikov. Great short stories. The first one is being probably the most famous with the fatal eggs. The fatal eggs are actually eggs that scientists in Russia has changed the nature of the eggs while doing an experiment, and the result is that they hatch, and this is the end of the world. It's really crazy, and of course the first one is also, everything with Bulgakov is about judging the government at the time, the Soviet government, and it's always irreverent and satirical. It's true. I mean, it was published in 1925, so 100 years ago, and yes, it's also, that's what they say. Okay, it's speed from grotesque satire to science fiction. That's what I said. Yeah, it's crazy. You can't really put him into a category because no one wrote the same type of stories, because they're very sharp and smart, and but also, you know, always on the edge of the fantastic or sci-fi. And at the same time, he dresses a very, very dark portrait of the Soviet government. So that's why actually his books were banned, and he wasn't published probably. His books, the most famous one, wasn't published after a long time after his death. He died too young. He was in his early 40s, unfortunately, because well, I'm a huge fan of him. I don't want to talk about these books. Just a second. I'm gonna talk about 3 books. Yes, I have read. See, but really not a lot. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's so good and everybody knows it. But it's on writing. Sorry, my phone. It's by Stephen King, of course. It's the best, as you see. It's funny and sweet and sharp, and it's a great lesson about, you know, how to write, but also how to be a good reader. Yeah, I love the man, and I love this book. If you are interested in writers, do you want to know how they work? He's not like, oh, I am the best at all. Actually, he's not. He's saying, you know, Faulkner writes so beautiful. I don't. But he's a tell writers. He loves stories. He loves to tell stories, and he's funny. I love the way he speaks about himself. And you learn that actually he threw away the first pages of Carrie, and thank God his wife picked the pages up from the trash can and said, no, you have to keep working on it. And yeah, it's a great book. It's very funny, and I'm so glad I finally read it. I also read A Short History of Tractors in Ukrainian, which is a really funny story, by Marina Lewycka. It's really funny. It's weird, but it's like the story of these sisters, and then one day their old father, who is, you know, being lonely because his wife has passed away, he's in his 80s, and then one day he tells his daughters that he's going to get married again to this very young and beautiful young Ukrainian woman. And she's in her 30s, of course. And of course, the girls are like, oh my God, what's going on? She's going to steal our dad's house and money and everything. And it's very, very funny and tender too. Yeah, it's a good book. I really enjoyed it. I don't think about it after, you know, nowadays, but now that I have it in my hands, I'm like, yeah, I had a good time reading it. So, and I think I've talked about this book already. I'm not sure. Mrs. March by Virginia Feito. It's a great book. It's probably my favorite book. Bulgakov being, you know, part, because I love everything he does, and he's on the top. But this one was really good. It's so dark too and twisted, and it goes from the normal story to the dark depths of depression. It's strange, it's sad, it's yeah, really good book. It's about this woman who, she's married to Mrs. March, and she's married to a writer, and she's having the best life in Manhattan, you know, dressed up, this perfect housewife. But one day her husband's last book is published, and he's talking about this whore, you know, prostitute. And actually, which is very amazing, this book takes place in New York in the 50s, and the whore in the book was born in my city where I live, Nantes, in France. How come? Anyway, and at the end of the book, he said that the main character, the prostitute, was inspired by his wife, and that shocks her a lot. And of course, everybody starts to talk about it, you know, like, oh, so you inspired your husband this way. So, and then her mind is going to start I don't know, unraveling, you know, all of these dark thoughts about her marriage, about her husband, about her child, and it's just crazy. It's really a good book. I know that I can't remember her name, the actress, This blonde actress. Oh, she's a good actress, really good one. She's bought the rights to make it turn it into either a movie or a Netflix series. I don't know, but it's a great book. Read it. And let's see. Since my mind is so, I haven't read anything else. Okay, but I would love to show you. I'm gonna show you more books just in a second. Yeah, I needed just a few minutes because I'm always very optimistic. I just borrowed a few books yesterday at a local library, and I wanted to show them to you. I've never read Evelyn Waugh. Waugh, that's the way you pronounce it. The Loved One. I know, I'm going to show you. His name, Evelyn Waugh. I've heard about, his style is very satirical style and everything. He's very famous. And because, I can't really focus and reading a big book scares the hell out of me, I thought that reading very short books, this is a short one. This is a story of a man, Dennis Barlow, who will enter into the artificial Hollywood paradise of the Whispering Glades Memorial Park. And it's following the death of someone, so it's gonna meet a mortician and a beautician, and must be pretty funny. I hope it's funny and good. I also took this one. I'm not sure. I've never heard about it. It's by James M. Cain, Double Indemnity. Have you heard about it? They said that actually it's the greatest crime fiction ever written. So I was like, what? I don't know about it. Tom Wolfe said that nobody has ever quite pulled it off the way Cain does, not Hemingway and not even Raymond Chandler. So I'm very curious about this thing. And I don't know the story. And look, big fonts, short paragraphs, short chapters. So yes, an old thriller. I don't know when it was written actually. He died in 1977. So, oh my God, he wrote The Postman Always Rings Twice. Of course, I know the story, and I know this. I haven't read the book. I've only seen the movie, which is a really good movie. In 1934, and Mildred Pierce, which I know too. Actually, I know. He wrote a lot. There are so many books. I didn't know. And this one was published in 1936, which I want to read it. See, I don't want to read Cass. I want to read that one. I'm probably going to read it. Yes, I'm going to take it on the bus with me to work. I think I could actually read that one because it's so short. And the other book is Ellen Foster, Kate Gibbons. I was attracted by the cover. See this young girl. Well, it's an opera book club selection, which in France doesn't mean anything, but I know opera. We all know who opera is, but our book club is not famous here. There's this book, The Crawdad. I don't remember. Fish. I don't know. This book like that was the opera book club, and it has become a movie by I think Reese Witherspoon projected it. I don't know. I've never been interested by the story. I've never wanted to read it because everyone was talking about it. So I'm not into a book club. But this one, and I don't know, it rings a bell. Like I think I've had this book before, but not with the same cover. I don't know. When I was little, I would think of ways to kill my daddy. I would figure out this or that way and run it down through my head until it got easy. That's what got me, okay? Yeah. It's a first novel. It was a tale of survival against the odds. Yeah, I'm very curious. And it's a very short one. And I want to read it too. I have to read them before I leave, which is really in a few days. So yeah. And the last book, but I'm not sure I'm gonna be reading it because I've been reading Craig Johnson, with Walt Longmire in English for a while. But this is the French translation. Dry Bones. I think the title is the same though in English. And I haven't read Longmire's and Henry Steading Bear stories for such a long time. I don't know why, because I love them. I love these characters. They're my favorite characters. And so I couldn't just leave it there. I was like, I need that one. So this is the books I'm planning to read before I leave on vacation. I want to bring books with me, of course, because I have a long flight, very long flight ahead of me, and I'm not sure which one. I had planned to bring along Steinbeck's book, because I love John Steinbeck, but I'm not sure because this is a big book, and still, I might be drawn by the screen in front of me and just watch series or movies. I'm not sure. But I still want to bring along a book or two. I have so many books to read, so many good books to read, and still don't. So yes, that was me talking to you for 22 minutes, and I think it's long enough. So hope you're doing all right and that you're reading. I really hope to get back in the routine of reading, and I really hope this vacation is gonna help me doing it. So don't worry, I'm gonna be missing again for a few weeks. I'll be gone for 3 weeks and a half, so that's a long time. But I think I'm gonna try to record some, of my vacation, especially because I'm planning to go into this, second-hand bookstores or libraries. So maybe I could, shoot a few videos and just show them to you when I get back, if you like that, and show you the books I'm planning to buy, because I've made a list. Yeah, I've made up a list because I don't read, but I still make list of books I want to read. Like this guy, David Sedaris, I've never read it, and I've heard it's so good, and so I'm planning to buy his books while I'm on vacation. I have a few books I have on my list, and authors I want to, buy, more Steinbeck and everything. So yeah, I will show you definitely what I hope to find during my trip. It's not gonna be like this huge book haul, but I hope to bring at least 10 to 15 books back with me. We'll see. Take care. Bye.